I love Teyana Taylor. I love her. She's talented, smart, beautiful, strong, powerful. She was choreographing Beyonce as a teenager. It was an incredible dancer. Beyonce loves her too. Teyana Taylor defends her polarizing character in One Battle After Another. And there she is with the shiny award. Hollywood saying, "You done good. We love you. So what's the problem?" Well, I'll tell you. Teyana Taylor, who just won her first Golden Globe for her portrayal of Perfidia Beverly Hills in One Battle After Another, says she doesn't fully understand the scrutiny surrounding her character. After all, she comes, she brings it. She definitely is a hard worker, very talented, as we said. 35-year-old actress opened up about the role and the backlash it has sparked for what some viewers have called an oversexualized, fetishized depiction of a Black woman in a new profile with Vanity Fair. Taylor, her character, Perfidia, who serves as a leader of a far left revolutionary group, is a misunderstood badass, a complicated figure shaped by an all too reliable, relatable, rather, reality. But to large swaths of Black women online, the character has become polarizing, deemed hypersexualized, embodiment of a fetishized misogynoir. Perfidia, who wields her sexuality in relationships with multiple white men, has been criticized as a character built through a lens that reduces Black womanhood to a horny, erotic spectacle. Writer Ellen E. Jones wrote the following criticism of the character for The Guardian. Jezebel's race kink and Cardi B. In one battle after another, Black women are still stereotypes. It's hard to watch one battle after another in the days following the death of fugitive Black liberation activist Assata Shakur and not have some questions about how white male filmmakers depict revolutionary Black women on screen. Many words have already been written about the good in Paul Thomas Anderson's latest film, some say masterpiece, including a 5-star review in The Guardian. But if a film is worth seeing, then it's worth taking seriously. And in this case, that involves asking, dear revered PTA, what is up with you and Black women? We know Anderson is careful, deliberate in his introduction of a racial dimension to this story. We know this because in the original 1990 novel, Vineland by Thomas Pynchon, the character corresponding to Perfidia Beverly Hills, played by Teyana Taylor, is white with fluorescent blue eyes. Her daughter, played by mixed race Chase Infinity, also therefore white. And while the race of the character corresponding to the other prominent Black woman in the film, Deandra, played by Regina Hall, is not specified. She is usually presumed to be white. It would be fair to say that Anderson has boldly stepped up to a moment in American history, which requires artists to be bold. Sadly, it seems, with regard to the intersection of race and gender, at least he's bitten off more than he can chew. This begins with the character of Perfidia, who is hypersexualized, way beyond the normal horniness that firework lightning in the company of late era Leonardo DiCaprio might arouse. This is a woman who prioritizes getting off over getting away from an imminently exploding bomb. When she abandons her family, the given reason is that she resents having to compete for her man's attention with a newborn baby, her own baby. Surely a more plausible explanation would have been that her commitment to the cause made it necessary to put the revolution first, i.e., the same reasoning male ideologues have been using to justify neglecting their families for time immemorial. But no, Anderson went for extreme horniness. Instead, this is a choice, just like it was a choice to name another of his Black female revolutionary characters Jungle P. Inspired by the performer's real stage name, a sexualized spin on the old racist slur, Jungle Bunny. Or to have Perfidia express her principled defiance of the fascist state with the phrase, this P don't pop for you. You try reading through all of this. But this is a critique. This is something to examine. These are choices which indicate that Anderson is unaware of the racist Jezebel trope, which originated during the endemic sexual exploitation of chattel slavery and has been perpetuated by American pop culture in various guises ever since. Either that or he's expressing a Tarantino-esque overconfidence in his ability to radically repurpose derogatory language and imagery, which is not and has never been directed at him. Also, Tarantino-esque, and not in a good way, is the film's fetishized depiction of interracial relationships. The most overtly icky of these is the one between Perfidia and Colonel Lockjaw. White supremacist, grotesque, played by Sean Penn as a collection of ticks and military gear. There's a scene in which Lockjaw sidles up to Bob DiCaprio, whispers, "Do you like black girl? I love them." This is intended to demonstrate the character's repellence, but would be much more effective as such if we hadn't just seen lovable Bob describe his attraction to Perfidia in pretty much the same terms moments earlier. Or Avon Barksdale from The Wire, aka actor Wood Harris, fondly describing his girlfriend, Alana Haim, as an ordinary working white girl. In the OBAA worldview, all interracial relationships are apparently founded on a race kink, with the possibility of genuine connection only ever a happily afterthought. Yes, PTA is in a relationship with a Black or mixed race woman, Maya Rudolph. And no, such personal circumstances do not absolve a filmmaker from the need to consider the points I'm raising, says one Ellen Jones in her very thoughtful analytical piece in The Guardian here. And that's just one perspective, but I can tell you Jones is not alone in her critique. Watch.
Specifically for Black folks who thought this movie was good, my question for you: if Tyler Perry came out with a movie where he had a Black woman character that was supposed to be a revolutionary, and this Black woman revolutionary character was having relations with white men, got pregnant by one of those white men, was drinking during that pregnancy, abandoned that child, before she could complete her revolutionary act, she had to turn to her white man and tell him, pull that D out or get that D up, whatever she said, because she can't complete the revolutionary act until she, that white man, she snitches and ruins the whole revolutionary operation act, right? And then on top of that, before she leaves, she writes a profound message on the wall to her white man. And what is the message? The message is, this Black poom poom don't pop for you no more. If Tyler Perry had that type of character, would y'all still be walking around here talking about, we need to see Black women as flawed and nuanced? Ooh, Perfidia was so nuanced and flawed and human. Black women are not a monolith. We don't always have to show Black women as perfect. We deserve to see Black women as flawed. Will y'all give Tyler Perry that same grace?
Teyana Taylor winning that Golden Globe is the same reason why Halle Berry is the only Black woman, or one of the few Black women, with a Best Actress Oscar. Halle Berry won for Monsters Ball, and the theory behind why she won is the fact that she was a Black woman being fetishized by a white man with a racist father. Teyana Taylor's character in One Battle After Another is basically the same thing, except for the fact that she's not being fetishized by just one white man, she's being fetishized by two, both Sean Penn's character and Leonardo DiCaprio's character. She plays a aggressive Black sexual temptress twice over. And just like Monsters Ball, there are very intense sexual scenes between her and these two white men. Like, Sean Penn's character is obsessed with her, and he's very openly racist and homophobic. And I don't say this to take away anything from her award, because I am genuinely happy for her, but white Hollywood does have a theme.
Congratulations to Teyana Taylor for winning Best Supporting Actress for her portrayal of Perfidia in One Battle After Another. Love this for her, but I absolutely hate what this means for the representation of Black women in Hollywood and how so often the institutional powers that be only reward us for portrayals that are stereotypical characters of Black women. I'm not bothered that Perfidia was a hypersexual activist. I'm bothered that we never get any interior thoughts about what led her to being that kind of hypersexual character. Paul Thomas Anderson has clearly never cracked open a Toni Morrison or Octavia Butler book because Sula gave you a roadmap to a character who leans into the power of her and the hedonism of it all. Lauren Olumina in the Parable of the Sower trilogy gives you a character who sacrifices her child in order to fight a revolution. We get the unlikable, we get the unsavory, we even get the mundane, and how powerful that all can be in the works of Toni Morrison and Octavia Butler. We do not get that in One Battle After Another.
Having listened to all that, I now want to go on the road. I want to go on the road and sit down and have summits and be the moderator, perhaps, discussing this film because there are things that it evokes and brings to the table that are very much a part of American history. But we should tell you, not everyone shares this opinion.
I think this may have gone over some people's heads, but to me, Perfidia was always aware that the child she was carrying did not belong to her partner. And so she had a disconnect there. This is evident to me, for example, when she's clearly 9 months pregnant using an automatic pew-pew. Some of the characters even make a smart remark about it. And then after she gives birth, she's clearly experiencing postpartum. But the mammification of Black women runs deep. And unfortunately, we've been made to believe that Black women are all encompassing, that we fix all problems, that we are the salve for the world. We take care of not only our children, but everybody's children. And so while I don't think it was the director's intention to alienate the audience in this way, I do think it was the unintended consequence of us, the audience, having a mammification expectation of a Black woman being a mother and then not seeing the follow through of being a Black mother that we expect. I hope that makes sense. In the same way, I think Black women have been presented to us in film and TV as ride or die. Think Set It Off. I'm going down with this ship because the ship got my bitches in it, got my crew in it. And so that has become our expectation of Black women on film. So when you ask the question, what decisions does the film make that dehumanize Perfidia? I think it's a valid question, but the question that should come before it is, what is the expectation of how a Black woman appears on the screen?
I saw that character as a flawed revolutionary. That was what Teyana Taylor was to me. She was, the reason she did what she did in the beginning was to embarrass Sean Penn's character. The reason she had sex with him was because it seemed like her only way out and to protect her people. And that character made that choice because it made sense for that character. Her parents wanted her to be a revolutionary, but she was always a runner. She wasn't a good mother. She was a flawed character, and flawed characters are often the ones that are Oscar and Golden Globe nominated regardless of race. But as Black people, it's like we need our characters to be flawless because Teyana Taylor's character isn't a character a lot of times. She carries the weight of Black people. So it's like, well, you want to celebrate this, that's what you think of us. And I think the voters are like, maybe, I don't know, that's a character. Or maybe that is what they think of Black people. But either way, it's the weight that her character has to carry for Blackness.
Can I just say that if we were able to stop the discussion right there, is it a win? Because art is being discussed, being debated. There's times where that would just be a win. But we haven't heard from Teyana Taylor yet, and we need to. What does she have to say about the discourse? Well, here it is. Are we watching the same film? She asked. I think, Perfidia, you see the results of people overlooking postpartum depression, she explained. You see how that makes her react. And you see this woman that still wants to shoot guns and still wants to be a revolutionary. And she wants all of the things. She added, I think we don't enjoy seeing the harsh reality, but this is what's happening. Her comments to the griot, she goes on. It will never be a moment of judgment because a lot of her mistakes have come from her being in survival mode, dealing with postpartum depression and the title of being a strong woman, a strong Black woman, she noted, adding in reference to herself. We don't get the same amount of compassion as everybody else. We don't get the same amount of grace as everybody else. Everybody just assumes we're okay. Taylor's comments haven't differed from what she has voiced throughout the film's promotional run. In November, she also pushed back against criticisms in an interview with The Hollywood Reporter. Is that not what Black women go through, she said? We are fetishized, especially by creepy mother, she added. We are unfortunately the least protected people, and noted that portraying what Black women go through is a hard reality to accept. And this movie should spark debate, she added. I always knew it would, because sometimes you just got to shake the table. Oh, she shook the table. She shook the table. And there are so many layers here. And depending on who I'm listening to, I can see and feel all of it. Black woman is supposed to be everything. She's complicated, but then she's also viewed and written as one note in Hollywood. Some ways I'm proud of her. No, not in some ways. I am proud of Teyana Taylor for standing her ground in her truth, in her role, and in her portrayal. Incredibly talented. It'd be a shame if she didn't get the Oscar because of any kind of blowback, or I don't know. It's such a coveted award sometimes that there are plants and all kinds of things. And I'm not suggesting this is an organic Jackson. I believe the people speaking out feel strongly and have represented incredible points. But again, I have to agree with some of them. But what say you? I want you to, if you can, address what was noted on both sides, and there's probably more than both sides, many sides, layers of this, and also address Teyana Taylor, who is an artist doing art and won this role. What about her?
Well, I mean, this really isn't my lane of subject matter in general. But I think that it's definitely a reality that minorities are sexualized all over the world. Sexual tourism is real. People go to other countries to sleep with whatever, whether it's in an Asian country or a South American country. Black and brown people have been fetishized and continue to be fetishized. I also think that we shouldn't really expect for white directors or white people in positions of power to put consideration for black and brown groups at the forefront of anything. First and foremost, because it's not their culture and it's not naturally going to be necessarily what they're aiming to do, and also because it doesn't really impact the project that they're trying to make. I mean, like they just trying to make money. There are black directors, there are black filmmakers. I think that for these types of issues, if we want different types of representation, we should push for it, but also we got to make more of our own products and more of our own creations, because I just don't think we should particularly expect all of these desires and wants to be met by a white man or a white woman. But I think, we should continue to make money off of the fact that we get fetishized. You know what I'm saying? Like, why
Long as
not?
it's out there.
Yeah, as long as it's out there, you know what I'm saying? Like whether you a woman or a man, take advantage of the fact that that the majority of the population may fetishize you. Maybe I don't know if you want to be a stripper, you want to open up OnlyFans or something. I don't know. All I'm saying is there's definitely money to be made off of that. And it is a reality, whether it's on this movie, which I haven't seen, so I really can't comment on it that
Yeah.
much, but whether it's on screen or in real life,
Well,
minorities will continue to be sexualized. So it
sure.
can cause problems, but if you can make some money off of it, then go ahead and do your thing.
So, a couple of things. I think you're right. We've learned hard lessons about making our own product, as Tyler Perry says. And even though, people have taken a critical eye to his work, he still is a pioneer who's talked about building his own table so he can sit his ass down there and do and write the kind of movies he wants. Um, Much of what you said I can relate to. However, Teyana Taylor, as talented as she is, just incredible, was chosen for this role because of who she is, her fan base, her reach. It wasn't just, listen, a lot of people can act. A lot of people are really good, and I'm not taking anything away from her. But they chose her because of her representation, hip hop, the culture, and she's crossed over. Is there not a responsibility if you want to make money off of her? And we've seen it before. Is there not a responsibility? It's not their world, it's not their culture. I happen to believe that if a Black person were directing this, they would be expected and would meet the challenge of writing for white society and what they can understand. We have that unique perspective because it's their world that we're existing within. Any comment on that?
Yeah, I mean, I think that at the end of the day, we're talking about fiction and fantasy. So I don't think it really matters that deeply. But I do think that it's worth commenting on. I think representation does matter. But at the end of the day, at least for me, when it comes to stuff like this, I think there's more important battles to fight, especially right now. If they want to represent us a certain way, they will. If they don't, they won't. But what difference does that really make when it comes down to the issues that we are actually facing in real life? At least
Well,
for me.
we're about to go to break, but I'll hit you with a one word answer, please, for this question. Does Perfidia get the Oscar?
I haven't seen it. I don't know. I can't.
Does
I
this
can't
prevent
say.
her from getting
Yeah, I
the
can't
Oscar?
say I haven't
The
seen it.
backlash.
But if she
Okay.
got it, then if she's up for it, then she must have
Yeah.
done a good job.
Well, we
And
won't know.
Leonardo DiCaprio is typically fantastic in
Yeah.
whatever role he plays. So I just haven't seen the movie, so I can't really like sit here and talk about it like I have. But I think that representation does matter. But at the same time, job security and stuff like that matters more.
Yeah,
So.
sure. Well, she's doing it. She's representing herself and she's pushing back. And we'll have to wait to find out who gets nominated or not, and if this is in any way going to hurt her chances. We'll see. If you even care about the Oscars anymore.